Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Relationship Communications Weekly Live. I'm Lisa DeToffel, your host, and today we're going to be talking about setting goals. This is the time of year we all set those goals, right? For the new year that's coming, and it's right around the corner. So, again, I'm Lisa DeToffel. I'm your host for Relationship Communications Weekly Live. I hope everyone had a great Christmas holiday if you celebrate that. And I want to wish also everyone a happy new year because, like I said, the new year is right around the corner, right? So, I'm the founder of Relationship Communications, where I coach and mentor established and aspiring professionals to create, grow, and scale their network. Relationship Communications Weekly Live is a live tactical and practical show that we do every week at the same time, every Friday morning at 10 a.m. So I hope you will put this on your calendar and make plans to join us every Friday morning at 10 a.m. Also, as you're coming in, if you're joining me live, I would love to hear from you. So say hello, tell me where you're coming in from in the comments. Or if you're watching this later on the replay, please do use hashtag replay. We are streaming in different places. So if you are on our YouTube channel currently, go ahead and hit that subscribe button or ring the bell so that you will be notified every time that we do to go live. Now, we are sponsored by Tiger Eye Solution. And Tiger Eye Solution is a virtual assistant business, and we work with speakers and coaches and professionals to help them grow and scale their business. So they can enjoy being the CEO and do what they love to do within their business. And we do this virtually and in our online communities. So before we dive into our topic today, I want to introduce myself. I know we do have some new people in the community that may be watching this later on the replay. I know it's still holiday time, so I may or may not have too many watching me or joining me live today, and that's perfectly fine. But even if you are watching this later, I want to kind of introduce myself and tell you a little bit about who I am. So this was me over 5.5 years ago. I was a preschool teacher for over 25 years prior to starting my first business. And this was me in the last classroom that I was a part of. And working with the kids, I really loved it. I built a lot of relationships with the kids, with the coworkers, with the parents, all the things. And so building relationships kind of comes natural to me. And now being a business owner, that's very important to know how to build those relationships and network. And that's part of networking for sure, is building relationships. Okay. And it does take time. It doesn't happen overnight. I'm going to be honest with you. Okay. Building those relationships does not happen overnight. A good example is when I was a teacher, at the beginning of every single year, we got a new group of kids. Now, this was the last group of kids that I worked with, but every single year we got different kids. So we had to start new relationships, right, with those kids in the class for that particular year and with their parents. So I've had a lot of practice over many, many years of starting and building relationships with those kids and with their parents every single year that the school year started. We had to start getting to know those students and getting to know those parents, learning about the students and how they learn best, all the different things. And so it took time. Usually between the beginning of the school year and Christmas is our kind of getting to know you time. I mean, yes, some relationships may happen a little quicker and some not, because some kids are really, really shy and they have to learn you too, not just you learn them. They have to learn who you are and that they can trust you. In business, what are we trying to do? Build that know, like, and trust factor, right? It's the same thing, the exact same thing. Those kids in those classrooms over the years had to get to know me and know that they could trust me as their teacher. and that I was going to help them. What I was going to do was going to be something that was going to be helpful to them as they were starting their education process. And that's the exact same thing that you want to do with those relationships in your business, okay? Through those years, as I was a teacher, I was also a single mother twice. So this was me and my 3 children when they were a whole lot younger, during those one of those time periods where I was a single mother. Was it hard? Absolutely. I was in a classroom all day with, everybody else's children, and then I had to come home to my 3. So, yeah, having adult time was really slim to none, for a lack of a better term, right? Because I was with kids all day and then at home as well, taking care of my own. But, I wouldn't change being able to spend time with my own children for anything, or even with those children in the classroom, because those relationships I built with those students in the classroom, and then the time that I had with my own kids, helped make me into who I am today. Yes, was there tough times? Absolutely. There was tough times. And there was all kind of everything else in between, right? Navigating, what to do as a single mother, or navigating through the divorce process as I went through that as well, and trying to stay focused on quality time with my kids. It was hard, very, very hard. Plus, there's the budget, there's the money, and all those things too. So it's very, very hard to get and navigate that as a single parent and balance it all the way it needs to be. Now, relating that to business, you kind of have to do the same thing, right? You have to find that balance of how to have your personal life and your professional life. And sometimes they coincide. They do. But you just need to be you, okay? And be honest with those in your family, in your personal life, your friends, whomever, and then also those that are in your professional life on the professional side. Be you, be honest, and it'll all work out for the best, right? This is what my family looks like today. Over the holidays, it's been really fun spending time with my family. A lot of extra time with my family has been awesome. Doing Christmas with these sweet little twins was awesome as well. It was a lot of fun. But this is what it looks like today. My husband, Jeff, my 3 children, my daughter-in-law, and my 2 grandchildren. And there's new news coming because there's a new grandbaby on the way as well. So next Christmas, I'll have 3 grandchildren to celebrate with. My middle son and his girlfriend are currently expecting a little boy. They shared that with us over Christmas as well. So they also do know the gender already. So it's another little boy that will be here in June of next year. So I'm excited. Okay, let's dive in a little bit to our topic. Back up, rewind. Back in 2018 is when I first started my first business. After all those difficult years, a lot of years in the classroom, difficulty through, 2 divorces and being a single mother. My current husband and I had been married for a little while, and I decided I wanted to start a business. Yes, don't get me wrong. I loved my time in the classroom with the kids. I did, but I just knew it was time for something different. So I explored the virtual assistant world, and here I am today. So in 2018 is when I took a training, started my business, and 2020 is when I realized relationship building and relationship management is exactly what I wanted to do. And then 2021 is when I decided to build a team. So Tiger Eye Solution also has a team. I love what I do. And of course, my family is my why. That's why I get up and do what I do every single day. And it's awesome. It's amazing. There's been so much change over this year of 2023. We're going to be talking about goals in just a second. But just what I've experienced this past year, the different things that has taken place to help build and grow me in the business, for sure. Has been amazing. So yeah, 2023 has really been a great year. And I look for a lot of more good stuff to happen in 2024. So let's dive into setting some goals. 6 tips for goal setting, okay? So today we're going to talk about recommendations for making your business goals, okay? Make them a reality, okay? The goals you set now, and if you're setting them now or in the next couple of weeks, whenever you're setting them, you want to make them a reality, right? So we're going to talk about 6 tips for goal setting. This is a time of year that a lot of people set goals, right? However, you don't need to wait till January 1st to get started, okay? I know January 1st is just a few days away, but if you've already set your goals and you know what you want to accomplish, you could go ahead and get started with it now. Now, if you're still on holiday break, that's perfectly fine. But as soon as you come back, you could go ahead and get started with it. You don't have to wait to January 1st. So let's dive in a little bit deeper, okay? A lot of people do that. They do wait to after the actual New Year gets started or after the holidays. What they are doing is laying on top of the goals and setting an artificial date to begin. Like I said, you don't have to wait till January the 1st. If you've already set your goals, you can start implementing them right away. Okay? So start working on goals or anything on Wednesday. You don't have to wait till January 1st. If you've already, like I said, if you already got your goals set, today's a Friday. You could start today, right? And of course, with the holidays, a lot of people think they don't have time, right? I know the holiday season is a very busy season. I get it. It's busy for me too. They say they don't have time, but the difference is that we let ourselves lose focus during certain times of the year. And this is definitely one of them. Holiday season is definitely a time you kind of, you take a break, you take a breather, or you take some time off. I've been doing that as well, taking some time off. But you don't have to set everything to the side, okay? You really don't. So, there's no need to stay stuck for the next 2 weeks or whatever. If you are taking that time off to be with your family for the holiday season, that's perfectly fine. However, whenever you do come back, get started right then. Start implementing whatever those goals are that you have set, okay? You can move forward at any pace. It's odd at an odd speed than if it's January 1st. Yes, if you're taking time away for the holidays and trying to do some extracurricular things with family and whatnot because of the holiday season, that's fine. But like me, I have been off since last week, spending the Christmas holidays with my family. I'm working today. I'm taking the whole weekend and next Monday off as well to spend New Year's time with my family. So am I full force back into work? No, I'm not. Now, next week I will, but I am taking time today to do some work. So I could start implementing whatever goals I have in place if I wanted to, or if I have time, or whatever the case may be, right? You can start implementing them at any time, okay? You don't have to choose a specific date or specific, lack of a better term, landmark time, such as the New Year or July 4th or, whatever. You can start at any time. So, like I said, you can start now. Between now and the end of the year to move your business forward, or just start taking the baby steps of the beginning process, of those goals that you have set for yourself, and not use an artificial date or a specific date like January 1st. Okay. That can also put a lot of pressure on you because of recovering perfectionist, like a lot of us are, including myself. We think, I'll get it right this time, or it'll be different. And instead, if you just lean into small goals or the small steps all the time, like every day, you will make more progress overall. Okay? And you're going to feel better about it too. Okay? Yes, I have notes I'm using, so if you see me looking down, I'm looking at my notes. So let's dive into these tips. So first, when you set a goal for yourself, you should use measurable words. Okay? Because it's very easy for goals to be slippery. Okay? An example would be, my business is generating $50,000 or more by the end of 2024. So by measuring it, you know whether you're on track or not. If that's your goal for 2024 is to make $50,000, then all through the year, you can keep yourself on track or see if you're on track to meeting that goal. Okay. So use measurable words. Another goal could be, I finished my website by X date, whatever the date is. Okay. So set a goal and then make it measurable. And as you're taking each step to achieve that goal, celebrate it. That makes a lot of difference too. Okay. And a good way to do that is by joining the VIP club. I'll tell you a little bit more about that later. Just thought I'd throw that in there though. Next, you want to make the goal feel like a stretch. Okay. Here's an example of how you can make it feel like a stretch. A couple of years ago, I worked with my team and redid the TES website, Tiger Eye Solution website. Okay. It was all about pages. It was terrible. I wanted X amount of pages on it. I want this, and this on this page, and this on this page, all the things. It wasn't a priority. And one day it became a priority. So it would be 100% complete and responsible for me to take 6 months or 4 months, any number of months to spend on that website. I made it measurable. I wanted to take X amount of time to get this project completed so I could get it right, in other words. And that would be reasonable, right? However, we did it in 3 weeks. Yeah, 3 weeks instead of 3 months, 4 months, or 6 months. I was overwhelmed, for sure. But by condensing it, we got it over with a whole lot quicker. By taking it step by step, piece by piece, work on one page at a time. Yeah, there may have been 6, 7, 8 pages, whatever it was. But by taking it by one page at a time, like in little bites, in other words, we accomplished it and got it completed a whole lot quicker. You can do that too with whatever goal or whatever project you're working on. You can do the same thing. And we did a great job. Okay. I had lots of help, helping with the graphics, the copy, and everything else in between. So I didn't have to do every single thing, but yet I was in there. I was part of it and making it what I wanted to make it, right? So by doing that, I was able to move on and do something else, move on to the next thing, the next project. By getting that one completed, in a timely manner, a whole lot faster than what I had anticipated. Okay. So Tigereye Solution does a lot of stuff, and we accomplished a lot this year as well. And it's because we made our goals a stretch. And usually the stretch is a timeline. So I want you to think about that and how exciting it would be to have your projects behind you. Create a timeline for yourself when you're working on a project. Okay. We're going to start it here and I want it finished by here. Whatever the timeline looks like for that specific project. Every project's different, so the timeline's going to look different. The next thing, and this is really important, write down your why. Why do you have this goal? Why is this goal important to you? And because, some of us have goals for our future and they're big goals. But there's little smaller goals that you have to set and complete in order to reach the big goal. Some of those big goals may be like buying a new house or buying a new car, having enough money to retire, having enough money to help your kids, etc. Whatever that may look like for you. So when we neglect our big business, we know we will not reach those goals, right? So if you have big goals set for yourself, just know you need to set smaller goals to get you to those big goals. You might need to get that $50,000 next year in order for you to start saving for retirement, whatever the case is for you, right? So the small goals you set and reach will help you reach your big goals. Like the example I just said, if you set that goal for 2024 to make $50,000, then that's a stepping stone per se for you to reach your retirement goals. Because if you make $50,000 next year, you could bump it up maybe to 75 in 2025 or whatever, to where you can start saving for retirement as well, right? If that's one of your big goals. But you have to keep going and completing one small goal at a time to get you to your big goals, right? Because when we neglect our business, we have too much client work or too much to do, whatever things are, okay? Are your clients going to help you get your goals or reach those goals? Probably not. Some of them may not even know what your goals are, right? So it's about finding the space, whether it's 15 minutes a day or an hour a day, whatever it is for you to keep things moving. Okay, yes, I understand you have client work or customer or whatever it is, because your business has to keep moving forward in order to get that $50,000, right? But at the beginning of the day or the middle of the day or the end of the day, set aside 15, 30 minutes or an hour to work on the small goals to help you reach that big goal. You can do that. That's not a hard thing to do. Just set aside X amount of time every single day. Okay? This is really important. Now, here's something that a lot of people don't like. They don't like deadlines. Let me say that again. Some people don't like deadlines. But things that get tracked, like deadlines, are things that happen and get accomplished, right? I have a lot of projects I want to work on right now. And I was thinking, what am I going to do? I have this system that works really well. And when I have a project, I write down all the steps or items or things that have to happen for that project to get completed. You can also use platforms like Trello, Asana, etc. There's just something about writing and organizing it that really works for me. I am a pen and paper person. You can call me old-fashioned if you want to. That's perfectly fine. I don't care. But just writing it down. Yes, I use some of those platforms. I mean, Trello is a platform I use all the time. But when I'm working on my goals, it's just something about writing down the different steps I need to complete in order to get that overall goal completed or done, right? So what you can do is write down the path for the project. That's kind of what I'm doing when I write those things down, is the path. For example, if it's an email newsletter, okay? And that's something I do all the time too. You will need to find a name for it. You will need to make a banner for it. And then, there's a checklist that you'll make for yourself as you work your way through the project. That's just a few things for a newsletter, okay? There's other things you could add to that list to complete a newsletter, to put together a newsletter. So that was just a couple of examples of things you would need if you were creating an email newsletter, okay? So that's kind of like a checklist, right, of the different things you have to do to complete your newsletter and have it ready to be sent out to your email list, right? So make that checklist and for yourself. And as you work your way through the project, you can add or subtract things off of the list as you are doing them. If it's the email newsletter and you have 6 to 8 things on your list of different things you have to complete in order to get that newsletter completed, check them off as you get them done. That will help you as well, right? It is just a matter of keeping what's important in front of you, right? So if you're creating this newsletter, the important pieces is what's on that checklist. So you have to complete each piece in order to get the newsletter completed altogether, right? So now when you are working on one thing, often you get a million other really good ideas. This happens to me too. You should write them down and put them in a stack off to the side, because that's kind of like chasing a rabbit, if you will. If you're working on maybe one of your pieces to the checklist, you're creating your banner or something, and all these good ideas start flowing in. That's kind of like chasing a rabbit. If you try to go in that direction with those ideas, you don't want to do that. You want to stay focused. If you're sitting there creating your banner for your newsletter, that's what you need to be doing. And these ideas are good ideas, so you don't want to forget about them. So write them down and just put them to the side on a sticky note or whatever. Have a good idea notebook or whatever works for you, right? And when those good ideas come, you write them down. And then you go back to what you were working on. Go back to that newsletter banner and get it finished. Okay? So, I lost my place, sorry. Write them down and put them in a stack off to the side, those good ideas. And just focus on the task at hand, right? The banner you're working on. Because some people think we can multitask. In some situations, you might can, but not in all. We can do a million things at once. But most of the time, it doesn't work. Like I said, you'd be chasing that rabbit with those good ideas instead of staying focused and finishing that banner for your newsletter, right? So map out a path for one project at a time and set deadlines. By the end of next week, I want to have all 6 to 8 things on this list completed for my newsletter. Simple as that, right? Then you want to track your progress. That's one of the things I find a lot of joy in, is crossing things off the list, right? So if you've made your list for your newsletter, you can cross each item off the list as you complete it. It's really important to do that and to acknowledge your progress. In other words, celebrate your progress. Okay, I completed my banner. Look how beautiful it is, right? Or this is the name for my newsletter. I think it's really awesome. And share it with other people if you want. Ask them what they think. you think this is a great name for my newsletter? That kind of thing. That will help you as well. So it's easy to say, I'm going to do my email newsletter and I did my banner, but I still have 25 other things to do, right? And to get down or upset about it. Don't do that. Just don't do that. If you completed that banner and then you still have 6 to 8 other things on that list, it's okay. It's totally okay. So mark off that you created that banner and move on to the next thing. Okay? Instead, you should high five yourself. Like I said, celebrate it. I did my banner. Let's go. What's next? Really acknowledge the success and the progress that you're making. And the main thing in all of this is, how are you talking to yourself about it? We talked about gibberish last time on our last weekly live, right? Don't let that gibberish get in your head and take over. Don't do it. Okay? So how are you talking to yourself about what you have accomplished or what you have to do next for that newsletter, right? Are you looking at your success and celebrating? Or are you looking at your list at all the things you still have to do and getting down or upset about it? You really have to watch out for that gibberish in your head that makes all that happen, right? And tell yourself, I actually completed my banner. I'm one step closer to getting my newsletter done and ready to send, right? So celebrate that. So these are some tips for setting goals and how to accomplish each step and and celebrate the success of each step. As you complete each one of those steps for your newsletter, celebrate it. High five yourself or go high five somebody close by, your wife, your child, whomever is close by. Give them a high five and celebrate that you completed this particular thing, this particular step. I named my newsletter. That could be step 1. Created my banner. That could be step 2. All the things. There's 2 things right there you can celebrate because you got those 2 things done. And then move on to the next one, right? So these are your tips for goal setting. And I hope you set some really good goals to accomplish in 2024. Now, I want to share with you too, if you're a part of, or if you're not a part of Relationship Communications Facebook group, head on over to Facebook and put Relationship Communications in the search bar and go to the group. It's a free group to be a part of. It's all about networking. It's all about making connections and building those relationships is what we do in that group. We also have just recently started a VIP group for Relationship Communications. And I would love for you to come join us and be a part of it. Starting in January, we will be having 2 meetings a month. The first meeting will be a Q&A session where you can bring any and all of your questions around business. And either I will answer them or we will answer them as a group, whatever the case may be. Then the second meeting of the month will be a celebration party. We will have a party and celebrate all our successes that we have completed. Okay, because celebrating your accomplishments is really, really important. I'm going to post in the Facebook group the opportunity to sign up for the VIP group. It is a paid group to be part of. It's only $27 a month. So it's very inexpensive to be a part of this group. And you get more one-on-one access with me, get questions answered on a monthly basis. Anything that comes up, you can bring them to our Q&A sessions. And then, of course, get to celebrate, have that opportunity once a month to celebrate all your successes or all your accomplishments or the small steps that you've completed to a big goal. Whatever the case is for you, we can help you celebrate that, right? So I want to invite you to join the VIP club. Like I said, we're going to have 2 meetings starting in January, and I'm super, super excited about it. So if you're not a part of Relationship Communications, head on over to Facebook, join the group. I'm going to be posting about the VIP club today or you can actually join the VIP club if you like. And I want to wish everyone a very happy new year, because by the time I see you again next Friday, it will be a new year. So goodbye to 2023, and next Friday we'll say hello to 2024. See you soon.